All right, guys, so I'm back with another episode, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about the week that I've had with Airbnb. So, as some of you might follow me on Instagram, you guys might know the problems I've been having with squatters lately. First time it's ever happened over the last 5 years, and it's been a learning lesson. It's kind of been something that I never thought we would have to deal with. For the most part, people don't have tenant rights where they come in your Airbnb. They can't stay because if the reservation ends, they're trespassing. But every state is different. Follow your local laws. No advice here or legalities or whatever it is. But today I'm going to tell you guys exactly what happened and how we handled it. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Rafa Loza. Again, been in short-term rentals for over 5 years. I'm an expert at operations. I'm an expert at rental arbitrage. And it's been a fun journey. I'm here to teach you guys so you guys can become the best short-term rental operators out there so we can all get better, be better, do better, and teach other people to be professionals so that we can continue doing this as a sustainable business and not be getting in trouble and getting kicked out of buildings and cities and ordinances, all that other fun stuff. So stick around. If you like it, subscribe, like it, share it. So anyway, about a couple weeks ago, we had a guest who came in and they've stayed with us before. It was a returning guest, so we were all happy. They booked one of our places and they sent us a message. Hey, we'd like to extend for 30 days. Can you please block the calendar so we can test out the unit first? In case we like it, we extend. And we're like, hey, unfortunately, we cannot block the calendar unless you cover the cost up front, because then we need to give the option for other people to book it, right? As hosts, we don't block out calendars. Now, yes, we could have done it as a courtesy, but she stayed with us before. It was the busy season, so we didn't want to block out the calendar. Anyway, so she didn't respond to us, and someone ends up booking the apartment. She gets upset, and she books the one next door. So she books the one next door for 3 days, and she goes, hey, I'm going to test this one out. Can you please block out the calendar? That way, if I like it, I can stay. And we're like, hey, look, we cannot block out the calendar because, again, you need to cover the cost or pay for the reservation in order to block the calendar. And I told her, I was like, hey, the apartment next door is exactly the same. It's just different decor. Did you like the last one? You're going to like this one. She didn't respond. Sure enough, somebody books it. And the next message we get is this like rant of like, you're the worst host we've ever been with. I used to be a host. You're terrible. Courtesy is you block out 30 days and you let us experience and let us try it out. And if we like it, we extend it. If not, we leave. And I'm like, hey, thank you for reaching out. I'm very sorry, but no, that is not the case. That is not how we handle situations. We don't block the calendar out unless the reservation has been confirmed, because otherwise other people don't get the chance to book it. And if you change your mind, we lose the days. So I apologize, but that's not the case. And she's just going off completely in one ear out the other. And she's just like, you're crazy. You're a terrible host. We hate you. We're going to complain. I work for Airbnb. We're going to sue you. And I was like, it's going to be one of those. Here we go. So we end up kind of easing the tension. We let her cool off. We don't respond. We let it go. That was the end of it. We didn't hear for like 2 days. We respond with, hey, listen, we just want to let you know we apologize, but we can't block out the dates. If you'd like, we can move you somewhere else, but hopefully you book somewhere else, or I apologize. That was the end of it. Well, come checkout time, 3 days later, my cleaners show up to clean the place and they're in there and they're like, we're not leaving. The host is a crook. We're not going to get out. We don't want to deal with this. Deal with them. We work for Airbnb and we're not going to put up with this. We have a process in place where some of you guys might have seen my video about how to handle security systems. Anyway, we have a security panel in this place. We set the alarm off because she's technically trespassing because the reservation ended. Mind you guys, we gave her 3 hours extra to check out. And it was like 1:30 p.m., 2 p.m. or something like that. And the guy that's staying with her grabs the security system and rips it off the wall and laughs and slams the door in our cleaner's face. So cops show up. The cops basically were completely unhelpful in this matter, which is surprising because they're usually pretty good about helping because guests are trespassing and they're breaking and entering if the reservation is in my corporation name and then we have somebody staying in there, right? They don't have tenant rights, none of that. But the guest came out and was like, I'm a lawyer and I work for Airbnb and this is an Airbnb and this is a civil matter, you gotta leave. So the cops ate it up because they don't know any better. So the cop leaves, I get him on the phone and the cop's like, I'm not helping you, good luck, hangs up on me. And I was like, well, that was completely useless. So I'm on the other side of the country. I'm out in, I think it was in Kansas City, setting up units out there at this time. And I'm out there dealing with this. I'm getting calls from my virtual assistants and from my cleaning staff. And I'm like, ugh. How do we deal with this, right? Luckily, I have my business partner. We have an attorney. We said, hey, listen, man, you got to go. We get Airbnb on the line. And Airbnb, love them because they make us a lot of money, but they're utterly useless with customer service. They disappeared on us. They had to move us to their security team, which you can never get a hold of unless they put you in contact with someone. It took 3 days to get a hold of somebody. Well, 3 days that people were staying in there without paying us. We lost a future reservation that was about $1,900. They canceled it because the guests showed up and the guests were still in there. So now we have an Airbnb rep calling us saying, you have people there and your new guests can't get in. And I'm like, I know. We're waiting for you guys to get a hold of us so that we can get these people out so that these people can come inside. well, we need to cancel your reservation and they got to get a full refund. You're going to get penalized and you got to go find them. And I'm like, no. Slow it down. That is not what's going to happen. Number one, you're supposed to help us. Number two, you're supposed to get the people out. Number three, we're not canceling. You're canceling because you can't get the other guest out because you guys are showing no support. Airbnb did not call the guest once. They didn't message the guest and they refused to get a hold of them and even notify us that they got a hold of them. Their security team was still reviewing the case. It's been 4 weeks and the security team is still reviewing the case. So keep that in mind, guys, when you work with Airbnb. There's some really bad reps in there that are just completely helpful. But again, don't complain because we use them and we make a lot of money off of them. It's part of the business, right? So at the same time, I'm posting this on social media. I'm talking about it. People thinking I'm complaining. Listen, I'm not complaining. It's a great learning lesson. We're all going to learn from this. I'm making this video because of it, right? But at the same time as we're going, I need to get these people out. Well, guess what happens? 2 days later, I have the unit across the hallway with the camera pointing at each doors, right? The doorbell cameras, they point. It's in a hallway in an apartment complex. And I see this guy changing my door locks out. Just in there, all casually, removing the door locks, putting his own piece in there. And I'm like, oh, we're going in for one of these people. It's gonna be a squatting situation. And I was like, oh my God. So at this point, I'm like, I'm across the country. What am I gonna do? Right? So I call Airbnb again. Airbnb's like, hey, we're waiting for the security team. So I was like, okay. So I messaged the guest and I was like, hey guys, you guys got to get out. You guys are breaking and entering, trespassing. At this point, these guests start texting me saying, we're going to arrest you. You're going to jail. You tried to remove us physically. You changed the door locks on us. You changed the codes on us, which is standard procedure to change the codes when guests leave. But then they try to say that we were the ones that changed the door lock on them. And we broke all kinds of laws and rules and penal codes. And I was like, dude, what are you talking about? So long story short, we have to get an actual attorney involved. A business partner of mine calls our attorney up. We get him on the phone. He messages the guests and the guest tries to get crazy with our attorney. The attorney is like, listen, if you want to go this route, we can go this route or we can work it out. They end up talking. They end up working it out. And it was simple. They were upset that we didn't block the calendar out. So therefore they were refusing leave because supposedly the guest in there was recovering from some kind of medical procedure. And I was like, look, had they expressed that to us and told us about it instead of going crazy and threatening us and flipping out on us, we could have moved them to a different location. They were prior guests. We gave them a 5-star review the last time. So they ended up moving. They ended up putting the door lock back. Well, before the door lock situation, they tried to tell our attorney that we changed the door lock on him. And I sent the video and I was like, this is you changing the door lock on footage. After that happened, like he was totally caught, like you're lying. He's like, hey, we're not bad people. We just want to have somewhere to stay. Let us find somewhere long-term. And they took like an extra 3 days. Long story short, they were in the apartment for about 6 days. We got them out. They put our door lock back, damaged. They left our security panel on the floor, damaged. And we lost the reservation, right? So now the next day, after, to fast forward the process here, we show up, our cleaners show up, they clean the place. They left the place in good shape, so I gotta give them that, aside from the damages. And we got them out. So learning lessons here that I want to throw into this video. Number one, you can't really rely on these OTAs, right? These online travel agencies like Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO and all these other ones. I'm not blaming anybody, but again, Airbnb didn't help us in any way. We ended up getting paid for the reservation that we lost because I was just hounding them nonstop. Hey, you guys got to pay us for this. We lost it because of this. The guests did get removed from the platform, but they can just go and open a new account. Airbnb doesn't check it. And long story short, now we know how to handle this type of situation. There was several things that we could have done different here, okay? Number one, yes, we could have probably blocked out a day or two for them to test it out. Not the entire month. We could have addressed the situation a little bit better by coming in and saying, hey, look, we can't do the whole thing, but if you like it, we can block it out for you and maybe reserve it and give you an extra day to try it out. I don't know why, maybe as a courtesy, but you're already in there, you're trying it out, right? Anyway, so we could have also been a little bit more conscious of the fact that she needed a long-term place to stay, and there was a reason why she was asking. We also could have not set off the security panel. Now, these things are all procedures in our business that we handle, standard operating procedures that we have. So it's not like we went the wrong route. It's just that it was handled differently by a specific type of customer. Not every guest is the same. Not every customer is the same. And for this specific person, it was a little bit more personal to her that we didn't allow her to stay. And I see that now. But moral of the story, guys, don't take things more than what they really are. The entire time I was cool, I was calm, I was sharing the story, I wasn't upset. I was trying to figure out how to best to handle it, and I found out how to handle it the best, right? Number one, blow up Airbnb and contact them as much as you can so that you can get some sort of support. Number two, you might sometimes need to get outsourced help to get it involved. Airbnb sent me an email saying to have the attorney send all the legal documents in. For what, I don't know. I still haven't gotten a response from them. but we had to get outside help. The police couldn't help us. We ended up calling the actual supervisor at the police department, and they said, hey, we can't help you because it's Airbnb, which again, it's weird. I've had officers remove people from properties in the past because they're trespassing or breaking and entering or doing things they shouldn't be doing. But for this case, for whatever reason, they said no. Just fine. You can't force people to do what they can't do. But first time we ever had people not wanting to leave our place in 5 years. And that says something. That means we have things right in our business. We have systems, we have processes, we have good customer service, and you're not always gonna win them all. Luckily, we were able to get them out. Hopefully we get paid for the days that we lost, and hopefully they pay us for the damages of the door lock and the security system. I'll make a video on how to handle claims in the future so that you guys kind of know how to deal with this, because this video is getting very long. But I wanted to share this story with you guys because it was crazy. I mean, I'm out in Kansas City, then I'm flying to Milwaukee, then I'm going to Michigan, looking at different locations to open units, and this is all happening. But here's the best part of it all. It was all solved and done while I was handling business elsewhere because I have the right team in place here to deal with it, right? Business partner who's local, who's able to help, an attorney who was able to get involved and mediate the situation so that it didn't get out of hand, because it could have gotten a lot worse. And a cleaning team who was okay, like, hey, we'll help where we can. And they came in and they handled the situation. The next day we got a booking and we made that money back. So it's kind of a win at the end of it anyway. But it goes to show that whatever it is that you're doing in your business, take it serious, stop, assess the situation, and act accordingly, right? It's like my process. Stop, take a deep breath, assess the situation, act accordingly. Never once did I get crazy upset and go off on these gas. And actually, I take that back. I did get upset at one point, which is why I removed myself from the conversation. I did get a little upset and I was like, hey, why are you going all crazy on us? We'd be happy to move you had you told us something. Shouldn't have done that. That was a bad move on my part. Full responsibility, which is why I have a guest communications team handling this stuff. But anyway, hopefully this video was helpful. I know it kind of went on a little tangent here, but I like to share this stuff with you because you guys know, hey, I'm in the trenches. I'm doing this with you. Take what you can, learn what you can. See you on the next one.